How's it going? Look, I wanted to revisit the Noma Rene Redzepi fiasco because parts of it are becoming really annoying, because I reckon that people have romanticized this industry. They've romanticized becoming a chef, and when faced with the reality of the industry, or at least certain theaters within the industry, they don't like it. And rather than concede that they don't like it, they're going to try and bend the industry to their will or to their expectation because they are not the problem. The industry is the problem. And I have a problem with that, I suppose. And they're not trying to socially or culturally overhaul the construction industry or the offshore oil rigging industry because they haven't romanticized these jobs. They have no designs to be a part of that industry, and therefore they don't care. And that's a reason why I find it disingenuous to a degree. And, if they've entered into these agreements to work for free in exchange for experience, CV, and sort of the acquisition of technique, then I think the idea that they are now, years later, the victim of a crime is outrageous. It's pathetic. And in fact, considering little kids, have to dig with their bare hands the resources required to make mobile phones and electric cars, considering that's happening in the world, I think the idea that these people are victims of a crime is gross, and it's part of this sort of victim mentality that we see all over the place. And I think we have to stop normalizing the idea that everything is for everyone, because it's not. And the reality is that most restaurants are passion projects. Most people who work in this industry do it because they love it, and it works out well for not the majority of people. And fair play to them. They worked really hard to get it over the line, and I hold nothing against them. But like, I love this industry. I love being a chef for multiple reasons, but it's really hard, and it's one of the only industries that's as hard as it is, and good chefs are in high demand, but you don't get paid adequately. And that's not Noma's fault. It's not Rene Redzepi's fault. It's your fault. Because you won't pay the true cost of that plate of food. That's the reality of it. And the pitfalls of this industry is that social media influencers make more from the industry than chefs do. That Cisco and their counterparts all across the world who supply the produce make more from the industry than the people who rear it and grow it. And, energy companies, even your local authority, make more from the industry than restaurateurs. They're the real problems. And Jason Ignacio White is not a hero. And, he even conceded in his New York Times interview that Rene Redzepi was unparalleled, creatively speaking. And someone in the comment section was like, well, so would I be if I had thousands of savings. It's like, no, you wouldn't, in fact. You would not. And that's the problem, is that you're not as good as you think you are. And like,